Saram everyone and welcome to this short Satsang on sweet Ganesha. One look at Ganesha and you feel so happy, isn't it? His form is so alluring, his smile is so enticing. It is like Ganesha is telling you, no matter what, look at me, be happy. You can be fat, no problem. You can have oversized big ears, no problem. You can have a broken tooth, no problem. You can have elephant skin, no problem. No matter what, just be confident, be cheerful. You can be plus sized, no problem. You can eat as many sweets you want and still not have diabetes. You can be ancient and rooted to your roots. At the same time, be new and trendy, be in tune with the times, be relevant, be interesting. Isn't this not Ganesha conveys to us every time you look at Ganesha, you are filled with that joy, with that brightness, with that happiness, isn't it, Prem?
And absolutely, and I think whatever you said must have been music to most of our ears. But it's so beautiful, when you think of it. Swami gave so much importance to Lord Ganesha and the worship of Lord Ganesha. To come to describe it, I think every institution of Swami's, even when it was conceptualized, Swami would have thought, where is Ganesha going to come?
Yes.
Right? You look at the institute building, the central altar there is that of Lord Ganesha. We all have a very fond liking to that place.
Yes.
The hospital, the Ganesha in the super specialty hospital plays a very, very important role. When you speak to patients, even doctors who serve in the hospital, they speak of the importance of that space. And in fact, Brother Harsha, one of our dear brothers and the PRO of the hospital, he was saying that this space belongs to Swami. We cannot move anything without Swami's permission because that's how much importance Swami gave.
And Swami has personally directed every
every object which is there in that central hall in the hospital has been planned and put by Swami himself. So the amount of importance that Swami gave to Ganesha by installing it everywhere, Swami made it a point that we would greet Ganesha before we go for college. Every bhajan session starts with the Ganesh bhajan. You could miss out any other deity, but you cannot miss out Ganesha. And every music program, it's a habit in Prashant Nilayam. And if you miss out, I've seen Swami saying that, hey, what about the Ganesha song? Prathama Vandana, it's not without reason that we worship him as Prathama Vandana. And Swami has given him that beautiful place. And what more to say? The moment you come to Prashant Nilayam, the first one who greets you, is Lord Ganesha.
Yes.
Isn't it?
He is the one who takes your prayers to the Father.
Absolutely.
The Son, Bhagwan has appointed his Son to invite everyone who comes to Prashant Nilayam, isn't it? Fantastic. In fact, as you're talking about all these beautiful institutions having these lovely Ganeshas, you cannot but think about the Ganesh Chaturthi celebrations in Prashant Nilayam, especially the immersion day, the lovely chariots that the students used to make, the amazing flights of creativity, the superlative shades of innovation that you would see every time there was this Ganesha immersion ceremony, isn't it? I mean, you would find students making chariots which look like spaceships, to gardens, to an island, to, you can think about anything, isn't it?
Not absolutely. In fact, if you look at the modern day Ganesh Chaturthi celebrations all around, we say that it has its origins in the independence movement. Bal Gangadhar Tilak came up with this celebration as a means of bringing together people, uniting people. But you saw in Prashant Nilayam that took a completely different flavor, where everyone's talents came together and everybody started making these things. And all around the world, I think Ganesha is that one deity whom you can cast in any form, and you will not be charged with blasphemy.
Exactly. I mean, Ganesha can be a doctor, Ganesha can be a dancer, Ganesha can be a paratrooper, Ganesha can be a poet, Ganesha can be a pilot, Ganesha can be anything actually. In fact, I remember on one occasion, you had like so many Ganeshas that
Swami had visited.
And Swami saw every Ganesha there. It's like everything that you can imagine, they had Ganesha in that hue, and Bhagwan loved it.
Right. And I think it's a very significant thing that we celebrate Ganesh Chaturthi like this. If you look at it, it is the celebration where it begins by you making a Ganesha. Of course, now we go to the market and buy one. That's a different thing. And we are losing the essence of the tradition in that sense. But you start by creating a Ganesha of your own. from sand.
Yes.
And then the 3-day or 7-day or 10-day festival concludes with you dissolving that idol into a pond. And the whole idea is that, as Swami beautifully tells in a discourse, the truth is, and it'll always be, that God is formless.
Absolutely.
You give him a form,
Yes.
and that is that is the significance behind making a Ganesha statue.
Correct.
And as you said, in any form that you like.
Yes.
And then that period of upasana, that worship is supposed to bring you the understanding that he is formless. And that is signified by that dissolving. In fact, we had the opportunity to speak to a small child, a Balavika's child, who I think this was about 5-6 years back, and she started making clay Ganesha from that year, and she was very excited and she wanted to share about it. And a very beautiful insight, which probably we didn't think of, and it was so thrilling to listen from the child. She said, now when I'm making the Ganesha idol, I feel like I'm spending more time with Ganesha. I said, that's made the festival all the more beautiful. We've been celebrating it for the past 5-6 years. But the idea that I love this Lord and I'm spending more time with him, and he's mine, right? It's just a form of your own talent.
You are creating your God.
Right.
You are decorating that God. You are worshipping that God. You are showering your love and receiving that love, and ultimately again, that idol was just a medium.
Absolutely.
You connected to God through that idol. In fact, when you think about it, even Mother Parvati also created Ganesha out of mud. Everything comes out of mud.
Incidentally, that's what that child said, that maybe this is how Mother Parvati must have created Ganesha.
Yeah, in fact, little children, the way they connect to Ganesha is really interesting. In fact, Ganesha, my friend Hamesha, there are so many ways people connect, especially in the higher secondary school when I had the chance to talk to so many students. A lot of students develop that friendship with Ganesha, and that has helped them, improve themselves in their studies, in their character, in their overall personality. So, how about listening to little children share what Ganesha means to them?
Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakote Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada. Sairam, my name is Sai Lakshita. I am 5.5 years old. I love Ganesha. Ganesha is very wise. Before I start my work, I pray to Lord Ganesha, and Ganesha comes and helps me.
Om Shri Sairam. My name is T.P. Patta. I love Ganesha because he is elephant-headed God, and I like elephants.
Om Shri Sairam. My name is Avyukt Venkata Sathya Sai Suhrut. I love Lord Ganesha because he loved his parents and got their blessing. Sai Ram, I am Arjun Sai. I am going to tell few lines on Ganesha, like how much I love him. So the first line, I love him because he helps us with his intelligence to do our work correctly. The second thing is, I love Ganesha because he guides us through our path and destroys all the obstacles that are in our way. And lastly, I love Ganesha because of the birth story. Ganesha has a solution to every problem.
I pray to him, he should bless me with Siddhi and Buddhi.
I pray to him every day so that I can get his grace. Now lastly, I'm going to sing one bhajan on Ganesha. Gajavadhana Gananatha Gajavadhana Vinayaka Siddhi Vidata Shivatanaya Siddhi Vidata Shivatanaya Buddhi Pradayaka Gajanana Buddhi Pradayaka Gajanana Parvati Nandana Bhaba Bhaya Bhanjana Yuga Yuga Vandita Jai Shri Ganesha Parvati Nandana Bhaba Bhaya Bhanjana Yuga Yuga Vandita Jai Shri Ganesha. Happy birthday Ganesha, I love you. Happy birthday Ganesha, I made this card for you.
So that's the sweet love of the little ones for Ganesha, and you should see the frenzy and the excitement that is there in the hostels, especially during the Ganesh Chaturthi celebrations, and a lot of elements are there as part of the celebration. And one thing that is most looked forward to and everyone is so interested in it and relicious is the delicacy that is made, the Modaka. And Bhagwan used to talk about the Modaka in his discourses and say how the Modaka is steam cooked, and in fact it is like idli, and it is one of the healthiest of all the food items that you can actually make. And look at Ganesha. Ganesha eats a lot, and Ganesha is telling, you know what, if you want you can eat as much as you want, but ensure that you eat healthy food. If you are eating healthy, you will always be fine. And the way the Modaka is made and what goes into the Modaka has so much of deeper significance when it comes to our food and our diet and our habits for healthy life, isn't it?
Very, very true. In fact, even as you were telling the example of idli, Swami would very often give that as an example when he's talking about steam cooked prasadam.
Yes.
Because you'd say idli, in our hospital, somebody has an open heart surgery and the next day he is served idli. That's
Yes.
how healthy it is.
Yes.
Right? And Swami would say that that's why food that's not oily, food that's not directly cooked on fire
Correct.
is very healthy. And Ganesha, interestingly, however you picture Ganesha, invariably he is pictured as being a little on the the higher side of weight. Right?
He's happy and pot belly.
Right. But Swami would say that he is Mahakaya. He has a big body, but he is not unhealthy.
Yes.
He is healthy, and it is represented by what is meant to be offered on Ganesh Chaturthi. So the things which is used, Swami would say two main ingredients, the til seeds and jaggery. Right? Jaggery is used instead of sugar.
Yes.
And Swami would say most of these festivals have their origins, and even today they are very widely celebrated in the villages. It was this period of time in the year when jaggery would come to the houses after the whole process we all know from sugarcane to jaggery, and til seeds will also be harvested around this time. And these are actually very significant for good health. A few years back, when we were doing the Children's Hour program, we had Dr. Lata Shri from the General Hospital, and she actually did an entire talk on the health aspects behind this preparations for Ganesh Chaturthi.
Wow.
Right? And she said this, and in fact, some of these Swami has also mentioned in his discourses. She says that when you use jaggery, she says jaggery is rich in iron, it is good for the eyes, it activates digestive enzymes, it has antioxidants, it has minerals. Nowadays we talk so much about immunity boosters. It has minerals that are immunity boosters. It simulates bowel movements and detoxifies the liver. So any day, and Swami has said this also, any day compared to sugar, refined sugar that we all have got into the habit of eating.
Sugar, Swami also mentioned, right, that cancer is related to the consumption of sugar, and jaggery that way is very healthy.
Absolutely. And similarly, the sesame seeds or til seeds, as we call them, the powdered til seeds, Swami said they're good for the bones, they're good for the eyes, they're good for relieving you of phlegm. Right? As Swami says, it's very useful in these kind of things. Increases good cholesterol and prevents heart diseases. These are not my words, these are all from the General Hospital doctor. So the whole celebration, and Swami would, whenever he makes a mention of the prasadam that is made for Ganesh Chaturthi, Swami would also remind us that all these festivals had deep scientific reasoning behind them. There was significance why they did certain things. And it is important to not only follow these traditions, but also understand why our ancestors had given us these practices too.
I think we should really be grateful to the ancestors. Instead of explaining to us the entire science behind it, they just said, okay, if Ganesh Chaturthi is coming, this is the time of the year when this will be harvested, and this is what your body will need. So make this prasadam. And so instead of questioning, I think if we just implicitly follow these practices that have been given to us by our sages who are really scientists, it will definitely help us. And maintain the purity of it. If they said steam cooked, now we should not try to,
microwave it.
Microwave it and have it, So, because actually the slower the cooking process, the healthier it is. In fact, if you eat food that is cooked using wood, it is always tastier also actually, than what is cooked in like 2 seconds. So I think all these practices, they had so much significance, and it's so important to eat what is harvested at that point in time.
Right,
Every
exactly.
season, whatever nature gives us at that point in time, we should have that, because that's what the body needs depending on the outside environment.
In fact, that's something that scientific studies are more and more pointing to.
Yes.
Eat local, eat according to the climate of your region.
Yes.
Because all of that matters, not only in health,
Yeah.
but even to preserve the ecology. That seems to be
Yeah.
the right way to go.
Absolutely. And I think Swami mentions how it is oil-free, and that is also a very significant thing, isn't it?
Right, absolutely. In fact, I was very fascinated. The word for there is a word in Sanskrit called sneha. Sneha means friendliness or
Yes.
having affection,
Yes.
but sneha is another word for stickiness.
Yeah.
Right? Sneha also means sticky. So abhisneha means to have attachment. Right? So when you say the prasadam that you offer should not have oil, it's actually a reminder that you should reduce your attachment.
Yes.
Right? It is not merely, okay, I'm going to make a more healthy diet,
Yeah.
skip oil. It is not just
Exactly.
that. It's a reminder that
Yes.
the more you're able to remove
Yes.
attachment from your diet
Exactly.
or from your livelihood
Yes.
or lifestyle, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
it is a very good thing, because
Yeah.
finally, scientific reasons apart, the health reasons apart, the significance of festivals is indeed spiritual, and that doesn't go away at all.
Absolutely. I mean, don't live to eat, eat to live, and have ultimately whatever we do, that element of detachment is so important. I mean, you can enjoy everything in the world, but with that spirit of detachment inside. And I think everything in Sanskrit, that's why has so much of inner significance. And when you look at every aspect of Ganesha's personality, similarly, if you take, say, the rat, Ganesha has the rat as a vehicle, Mushika Vahana. Now, the rat gets all the time attracted to smell. And so there Swami says smell is called Vasana. At the
Right.
same time, Vasana also in Sanskrit refers to all our tendencies, right? We say we are taking birth again and again because of our Vasanas. So it is these smells of the world, quote unquote, it is these attractions of the world which is bringing us again back to the earth. And Ganesha is one who is riding on that. So with Ganesha's help, you can actually conquer all those tendencies because of which you are taking birth again and again. All your weaknesses, all your shortcomings, you can overcome, because here is a power which can help you get over all those weaknesses. And the most beautiful thing Swami says, see, even though this rat represents darkness and vasanas, it is worshipped today. It is worshipped today because of association with Ganesha. Otherwise, no one will worship a rat. I think that is what, if you have that positive association, if you are in Satsanga, Ganesha will give you the strength to get over your vasanas, get over your weaknesses, and not only that, you will actually become even a thing of worship. I think that is so profound when you think about the Ganesha principle.
Very true. The Mushika, as you said, Swami says it. It is attracted to smell, and it does all the nonsense in darkness, right?
Yes.
When not watched, because most of the vasanas are, Swami would say, that inner tendencies in the subconscious mind.
Yes.
They're not even open to us. Even the conscious mind sometimes is not aware of it. And Swami would say Ganapati is another name for Ganesha. The Ganas represent the senses. The karmendriyas and the jnanendriyas and the mind, which is supposed to be the master of these, and Ganesha is the master of all of them, right? And that is why the vasanas are related to the senses. The senses are to be ruled by the Lord, and Ganesha represents intellect, as Swami would very often call our attention to. And intellect, Swami would say, buddhi.
Yes.
It is not bookish knowledge. It is not. There are many vidyas, but this is not. Ganesha does not represent bookish knowledge. He represents the most important kind of intellect, nitya anitya parisilana, as Swami would say. The ability to differentiate between what is permanent and what is impermanent. And this should rule over your senses and vasanas. So that's the, you cannot get a more powerful imagery of a spiritual pursuit than this, isn't it?
Absolutely. And in fact, when you look at the other elements also, as part of the Ganesha worship, once Ganesha festival comes, everybody goes looking around for grass to offer, everyone is trying to see how much grass they can offer to Ganesha. But, Swami gives this very beautiful example of how the worship of Ganesha through grass started. And Swami gives this Puranic story, this legendary story wherein once Mother Parvati and Shiva, they were playing a game and they had Nandi as the judge.
Right.
And it so happened that apparently Shiva lost the game, and Nandi as the judge, even though Shiva lost the game, he adjudged Shiva as the winner.
Okay.
Because he felt, how can I do this? Shiva is my master. Whatever I am, it's because of my master. How can I see my master not winning the game? And of course, this infuriated Mother Parvati, and Mother Parvati said, how can you do this? I actually won the game. And then, Nandi seeks forgiveness. He said, Mother, I don't know what to do. I cannot have Shiva, my master, lose. So, punish me however you want. And then apparently Mother Parvati says that, may you be inflicted with an incurable disease. And that is when, Nandi does not know what to do, and he seeks Mother Parvati's forgiveness for the mistake he had done. And Mother, out of her infinite mercy, she says, okay, there is one way you can come out of this curse. On the month of Bhadrapada, on the Chaturdasi, if you worship my son, Ganesha, and how you should worship? Give what is most dear to you.
Beautiful.
If you can worship my son by giving what is most dear to you, then you will not be affected with this. This curse will actually become a boon, and that's what turned out to be. And because Nandi loves grass, Nandi said, I will offer grass and worship Ganesha on Ganesh Chaturthi day. And that is how he was relieved of the curse. And what is Bhagwan telling us here? Can you worship the Lord by giving what is best? We want the best from God in our life. But when it comes to giving up something, we want to give something which we can live without. But can we give God on this auspicious day something that we cherish the most? Then I think definitely God will give us something which we cherish the most, isn't it?
Yes, and and we continue to offer to God what is favorite to Nandi. Right? But I think the significance is that, it's such a beautiful thought. You offer to God what is dearest to you, and He will give you what is dearest to Him, and that is the ability to move closer to Him. The other point that Swami would make about Ganesha worship and offering this, similar to offering this grass, the kind of flower that we offer to Ganesha, there is Swami says it is Jilledi Puvu. It's called in Telugu. It is generally not sold in the market at all because it is considered not very exclusive, right? It's not like any of the other flowers, not very fragrant, not very colorful. But Swami would say that is offered to Ganesha, right? That also has its own significance in the sense, Swami tells in one of his discourses, he says, Ganesha is one of the deities that is worshipped even by other beasts and birds. And they would offer all these kind of things which are accessible to them. So the idea of doing a Ganesha worship like this is, here's a Lord whose worship is universal. Because today the Ganesha festivals have become so elaborate and so expensive. But Ganesha is meant to be available to be worshipped for all. That you don't need a wherewithal to do his worship. You can offer him anything. You can offer him grass, you can offer him these flowers. But the idea is to offer to him what he seeks, and that is what the spiritual significance of all that we spoke of. To give a little bit of our attachment away, to be ready to do something which Ganesha represents. That is the buddhi over the vasanas. That is the best offering that you can make, and everything that is involved in the worship is only a pointer, is only a instrument that reminds you of all these things.
I think, as you said, every element of worship, if we can think about the spiritual significance behind it, and if we do, definitely this festival will take us so much close to God. We will feel that divine proximity. We will get that strength and that buddhi to overcome our shortcomings. And as you were saying, the festival of Ganesha has been ancient. If you see the Vedas also, you don't have mention of Rama and Krishna in the Vedas. But Ganesha is almost like Ganesha is there since the beginning of time. Swami says, the representation, Ganesha is worshipped as Pranava Swarupa. Like,
Right.
he is symbolic, emblematic of Om. So Ganesha is that primordial deity. And the worship has been there since the beginning of time to fill us with that spiritual strength to deal with the challenges of life. In fact, the other very beautiful thing also about the Ganesha principle is, when you talk about the chakras of the human body, you know, the Muladhara chakra, which is the basis,
Right.
that is represented by Ganesha. And they say it is very, very significant because, you know, when God created the human body is perishable. It is transient. But the Atma is imperishable. Atma continues to live. Now, how to bring both of these together? How to bring something which does not die into something which dies? And they say it is this Ganesha principle which is making this happen. And that is why the Muladhara chakra, the Ganesha principle is so significant, so central to our existence.
Right. In fact, they say Kundalini is Mother Parvati. And we all know the story of the origin of Ganesha. You know, he is supposed to be the gatekeeper of the private quarters of Mother Parvati, and that is how the Kundalini is described. The Kundalini is Mother Goddess, and Ganesha, the Muladhara chakra, is the one who is guarding it. And very interestingly, when you read about this Kundalini yoga, they say that the way to activate the Muladhara chakra is through innocence. It's the goodness and innocence which is represented by Ganesha. And going back to that Puranic story, the origin of Ganesha, we all know that. And the other story that is often spoken about is Ganesha going around his parents when asked who is going to come first. Often, when you narrate that story, you tend to say that, see, this is Ganesha's intelligence, this is Ganesha's smartness that is going through. But when I look at that story, this is the sense I get. So here is a challenge posed before Ganesha. So what does he do? He says, okay, what are my limitations? What is it that which I can't really compete in? And he says, okay, I can't be fast. I can't, all said and done, I have a rat for a vahana. And these are my limitations. But when faced with an obstacle, what he does is very important, a very important lesson for all of us. He goes back to the basics, right? Yes. He doesn't come up with the idea that my parents are my world. The idea that my parents are my world is his core philosophy, right? So when challenged, when an obstacle is placed, he goes back to his primary purpose, right? What is the truth? And he says, okay, I have my solution here. So he doesn't come up with something smart, he comes up with something which is true. And I think that is what is most important. In another discourse, Swami very beautifully says that, being a student, don't go to Ganesha and pray, Ganesha, my exam is coming, I should pass. He says, any task that you take up, you should be prepared for obstacles. Because there will always be obstacles. And you should only pray for strength to overcome obstacles. And when you go to Ganesha, you should say, Ganesha, I am starting this thing, I'm starting this project, I'm going to take this exam. Please be with me. Right? So when an obstacle comes, that obstacle will become a means to turn you more focused towards your purpose. I think that is what Ganesha does when you pray to him, when you have obstacles. And
the problems come, you fall back on your core strength, on your core beliefs, and learn how to overcome them. You become stronger, you become wiser, you become more confident. As Swami says, self-confidence. Ultimately, self-realization starts with self-confidence.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a really a very beautiful point, Prem. And I think that is one central message, isn't it? Whatever happens in life, no matter what challenges we have to face, challenges will come and challenges are meant to be there. Those thrills and chills of life are only so that we become better and so that God is actually giving us a chance to rewrite our destiny and do it in a more beautiful manner. All we have to do is, every time we face with a challenge, fall back on our strength, on our core beliefs. And I think then Ganesha, the Vigna Harta, will give us the strength to deal with anything. And we can always be happy. In fact, talking about we can always be happy, there's our brother Ganesh who looks after Telugu stream. And, once he performed this dance in front of Bhagwan, and Swami asked, what is this song? So it was a Ganesh Pancharatna, and they said, the Swami asked, whose composition is that? And they said, Swami, it is MS Subbalakshmi's composition. And Swami was very happy. Then Swami said, do you worship Ganesha? And, brother Ganesh said, yes, Swami, you worship Ganesha. Who does not worship Ganesha? Then after some time, Swami asked, do you like Ganesha? And he said, yes, Swami. And then Swami's hand went up in the air and Swami created such a beautiful golden Ganesha. Actually, that Ganesha was a replica of the Ganesha that was there behind Swami, in the stage we had.
Right. Now which is there in front of the Gopuram.
Yes.
Even as
exactly.
we enter. Right.
As we enter. It's the same Ganesha, but this was small, I think 3-4 centimeters, and it was golden, really very beautiful. And one thought that came in Ganesha's mind is, when you get such a thing, when you get a deity, you're supposed to do some worship every day, right? There are some rituals, especially when Swami is giving. So he asked Swami, how should I worship this Ganesha? And Swami said, you don't have to do any worship. Just show it to people, whenever anybody comes to your house or anything, just show it to people and spread happiness.
Wow.
That's all is needed. The only ritual we need to do is spread happiness. And I think that is what Ganesha is conveying. You look at Ganesha, you feel happy. You have Ganesha with you. Be like Ganesha means to just be happy. That's all Swami is saying. I don't need all those rituals. You can do those rituals. But if there is no joy in your heart, if there is no happiness in your heart, if there is no self-confidence in your being, then there is no point. So I think as we celebrate this festival, let us fill ourselves with that joy, with that jubilation, and with that electrifying love for the Lord. Let us celebrate. No matter the pandemic, we can always fill ourselves with joy and delight as we celebrate this festival. And as we conclude, let us listen to what Bhagwan has said on Ganesh Chaturthi, and let these words ring in our ears and become a part of our being. Thank you so much for this, for your time, for your love, and for this opportunity to share his message.
మనము ఈ దేహాభిమానమును క్రమక్రమేణా కొంచెం ఆహార విహారం చేత తగ్గించుకుంటూ రావాలి.
Through our food and other habits, we should make every effort to reduce the body
ఈ
attachment.
ఆహార విహారముల చేత దేహము ఎక్కువ బలమైపోతుంది.
The weight is because of the food and habits.
ఈ యొక్క దేహమునకు బలమైనటువంటి దాన్ని ఈ గుండె అనేటువంటిది పూర్తి దానికి రక్తాన్ని సప్లై చేయలేదు.
And when you have overweight, the heart will not be in a position to pump
మన
blood.
దేహము లోపల ఒక్కొక్క తూరి గుండె కొట్టుకున్నప్పుడంతా కూడాను 12,000 మైళ్ళ దూరము ఈ రక్తం ప్రయాణం అవుతుంది.
Whenever the heart beats, pumps the blood, it would reach 12,000 miles.
ఈ 12,000 మైళ్ళ దూరము ఈ రక్తం ప్రయాణం అయ్యేటప్పటికి దేహము అలసిపోతుంది.
The body gets tired supplying blood to 12,000 miles of distance.
దేహము బలమయ్యే కొలది దీనికి సప్లై కూడాను ఎక్కువ చేయవలసి వస్తుంది.
With increasing obesity, the circulation of blood becomes a problem.
కనుకనే ఈ సప్లై చేసే దాంట్లోపల హార్ట్ వీక్ అవుతుంది.
Obesity makes the heart weak.
కానీ 7 పర్యాయములు ఇది కొట్టవలసినటువంటి ఒక గుండె అనేక పర్యాయములు కొడుతుంది.
The heartbeat increases because of overweight.
కానీ ఒక్కొక్క పర్యాయం గుండె కొట్టినప్పుడు 12,000 మైళ్ళ దూరము ఈ రక్తం ప్రయాణం అవుతుంది.
Each of the heartbeats would supply blood that would extend to the distance of 12,000 miles.
కనుక దేహాన్ని కూడా రక్షించుకోవడానికి ఈ యొక్క గుండెకు ఇంత పని పెట్టకుండా మనం చూసుకోవాలి.
We should see that heart is not put to overwork.
వినాయకుడు చేసే పని అదియే.
That is the job of Vinayaka.
అన్నీ భుజిస్తుంటాడు.
We eat all.
కానీ తనకి ఏమాత్రం కూడాను బాధలు కలుగవు.
But Vinayaka has no problems.
అనగా ఈ దేహముకు సంబంధించినటువంటి ఒక విషయంలో వినాయకుడు చేసేటువంటి పనులు చాలా సూక్ష్మమైనటువంటివి.
The actions of Vinayaka has got these subtleties relating to maintenance
ఈ
of health.
భుజించే ఆహారం లోపల ఉండేటువంటి యొక్క మార్పే ఈ ఆరోగ్యమునకు మూల కారణము.
The main cause, principle behind the health is a kind of change in our food habits.
ఈ విధమైనటువంటి యొక్క వినాయక చవితి ఆరోగ్యమునకు మహాభాగ్యమునకు ఆస్కారమైనటువంటిది ఈ వినాయక చవితి.
Vinayaka Chaviti confers health and prosperity.
ఈ హెల్త్ అంటే ఆస్తికి చాలా భద్రం కాపాడేటువంటిది.
The health and prosperity are held in security in the hands of Vinayaka.
ఇట్టి వినాయక చవితిని ఈ భాద్రపద చతుర్దశి దినము
On the 4th day of this Bhadrapada month,
మనం పూజించడం చేత
as we worship,
వినాయకుని యొక్క అనుగ్రహము ఎంతైనా దండిగా నిండుగా మనకు లభిస్తుందనేటువంటి విశ్వాసము ఆనాటి నుంచి నేటి వరకు ప్రజల్లో పెరుగుతూ వచ్చింది.
By offering special worship to Vinayaka, on the fourth day of this month Bhadrapada, we will be recipients of the munificent grace of Vinayaka.